Thank you, Dennis. That was a great introduction. I'm Rachel from BirdDogHR, and I am the domain company's main contact. And so if there's any questions or support needs, you can reach out to me directly. Following this presentation, I will make sure to send each of you an email so that you have my direct phone number and email. And so basically the agenda today is to discuss this hiring procedure, and then what we'll do is we will be jumping into a live demonstration. And so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm sure that Angela or I can, or even Dennis can answer questions as we go through this. So everyone got this document beforehand, and so we're just going to go through this piece first. And we're going to start with the recruitment and the tracking part of it. And so that is considered pre-employment. And so basically it starts with there's a need. So there's a job opening that one of your departments or locations is needing to request. And so that starts with creating and then submitting a requisition. Now when you're doing that, you don't have to worry that it is not going to be, that it's going to be live and that it's not going to be in the correct format, because we've created a lot of tools and templates so that everything looks very consistent and it'll be very easy to use. So first is when you're creating a requisition and then submitting it, the hiring manager, all of you as users, will log into BirdDog, and then right when you sign in is a create rec. You'll be able to actually, when you click on create rec, you'll be able to select the job template. If the job template that you need is not in there, just communicate that to Angela or myself, and we'll get that figured out. But it also has an option, master template, if the job is not listed. If you don't want to wait, it'll give you a great introduction and make sure that at least the workflow is going to be consistent. So it'll start with the company information and then go into the job summary, the requirements, and benefits. The next step is that you'll want to definitely review, make any changes to that job rec to make sure that it's really accurate to what you're looking for, or the need, where the need lies. And then you'll add yourself. There's a 3-step process when you're posting a rec, and one of those steps is to add yourself as the hiring manager. And what that does is you'll be getting notifications as new applicants apply. Then, after you're all finished with the posting process and determined which destinations you'd like to send your job to, it's all part of kind of like your job posting wizard that we're going to go through step by step a little later. Then you will have the opportunity to submit your requisition, and then the HR department will have a notification that there is a requisition to review and then approve. So it'll automatically be sent to HR. HR will take care of the details and make sure that it's either approved or denied. So again, if you're adding yourself as a hiring manager, you will get notification when it's been approved and when your job is live, or if for some reason it did not get approved. So does anyone have any questions on this first part? Alright, let's move forward. So after the job is posted, you will be able to review your candidates. And so obviously, you're looking for the skill sets. We have actually put together a great, I guess it's 2 different tools to keep your pool of applicants organized. One would be Stage, and a stage is basically where you've left off with the candidate. So whether that's you've reviewed them, you're ready for HR to maybe take the next step and we're going to go through all of that, what the stages can mean. We have a key here. And so basically you're going to be able to use the stage list and definitions page on page 5 to determine what stage you want to put it in after you reviewed if you want to move forward with someone or if you're not very interested. So we do have to keep documentation on all of the applicants so that if they apply again, or if for some reason there was a hire but we've got a bunch of other applicants that are just kind of pending, completing those out and just keeping documentation on why they didn't move forward, or if maybe it was just the position was filled and there wasn't a need after that person was hired. So we're going to go through that, but then hiring manager, so your team will schedule and conduct the phone screens. Obviously you've got questions and you've got a great feel for what you're looking for, and so the interview would be based on your availability and schedule. And the candidates, of course, they have to attend, right? And then all candidates are required to fill out an employment application. This should be done in BirdDog. And so I know sometimes we all get walk-ins, and really for a documentation standpoint, it'd be great if we could streamline everyone through the domain company's apply process. There's a couple of reasons for this, but basically for compliance, just so that everyone's got a fair shake. They go through the same set of questions. They are also trackable, and so no one's going to fall through the cracks. And so that's also a consistent recruitment approach. And so if you have any walk-ins, you can even direct them to the domain company's employment page. Every position that is posted in BirdDogHR, once it's live, the HR department will complete that requisition. It will show up as a clickable link on the website, and so they can search openings and apply right from there. And so you don't have to turn them away, but we do want to make sure that they are going through the application process, because we also will be reporting on EEO information, voluntary survey stuff, and so.
I didn't get it this time.
As far as Angela, did you want me to skip through 10, 11, and 12, or? Okay, so this stuff is basically going to be HR. And so after you complete your phone screen, obviously if they're already in BirdDog, they've filled out an application, because they wouldn't have ended up in your applicant tracking system any other way. But so then after you've reviewed, again, there's a specific stage that you can use, and we also have a ranking system. So 5 stars, a 5-star restaurant, really good. 1 star is we just not that interested. So there's 2 different ways that the HR department is going to be getting information from just your exposure to this applicant, and able to then kind of close the gap so that everyone's more efficient. You guys can all be looking at the same software, and so it's really going to close the gap. Everything, if you make changes, is updated in real time, and so Angela can go in there and check out new applicants that she would then go through her steps in screening and all of the fun HR stuff, right? Okay, so my screen jumped. Okay, so then the next step is basically that offer situation, and so everything goes well, then they are ready to be submitted for the hire, and then there is a specific hiring information sheet you guys are very familiar with, and so you'll just submit that, and then the HR department will create the offer letter, send it back to you guys. You will definitely review that document. If there's any changes, advise. Okay, and so then nothing has changed on this end, where you guys will still be able to go back to the new hire and actually extend the offer and present the letter to the candidate. So you can go through that. Obviously, signatures and stuff will need to be turned in to HR. And then what HR's next step is to submit that person to be set up for a background check. So, is there any questions up to this point? Okay, perfect. After the background check is submitted, obviously the results will come back, and HR will be in contact with your team to, discuss the status on the report, give the green light, that type of thing. So then it goes into your actual computer system. So this is just basically demonstrating the workflow so that you guys know what's going on. Angela, do you want me to skip this part as well? Yeah, so this is just here because we want transparency so that everybody knows what steps are involved in between. Even if it's not necessarily your part, then you know what the next action steps are, and your cue to step back in and stuff. So then the next step is basically the stage will be changed, and so this particular candidate will be marked as hired, okay? And so that hired disposition is what then links the applicant tracking system onto your onboarding module. So what that does is it's basically saying that new hire is now ready to fill out that new hire paperwork. So we're going to go into onboarding. The onboarding module is basically, it's an electronic way that an applicant can log in, or not an applicant, at this point it's a new hire, can log in and either complete their starting paperwork before they start on their first day. They can access paperwork with their phone, tablet, computer. They can also come into the office if that's more convenient for them. And they'll have a sign-in, so whatever email that they used when they applied initially, if you guys want to check to make sure that email is accurate, or if that's the preferred email, go right ahead and do that. But then they will be able to log in to the onboarding piece, at least until they fill out their paperwork, because there won't be a need for them to use that again. And so what will happen is the new hire is going to be sent an email 2 weeks before their start date, how to access BirdDogHR. There is login information, a little link that actually is like a demonstration page, and it'll walk them through the new hire forms. So this is the list of paperwork that they will be completing. Again, they could probably come into the office even if it's a couple weeks before, but the goal is to not spend time on paperwork, but to spend time on getting that new hire acclimated to your culture, and really understand the expectations of their job, and of course get somebody who's excited to be there. Paperwork isn't always exciting, right? So this is the documentation. So obviously I-9, W-4, there's going to be an electronic signature on these, and then Angela's at the HR department that then will ask the new hire to bring in the document and then verify to complete those forms. No, that's okay. So I wondered if it was going to be the hiring managers or if it was HR that was going to then be verifying the I-9 and the W-4 and then signing off on the employer piece. Okay, perfect. And so it's really easy to complete those forms. It's generally like, a couple of fields, and we'll go through that. And then a couple other pieces that we've added specifically for the domain companies is the handbook acknowledgement, and so they will have to view the handbook, and in order to move on, there's a confidentiality agreement and then holiday schedule. So on the new hire's first day, then the new hire is going to complete the following. So here's the other part, the verification process. It looks like I skipped ahead. Sorry about that. And then I didn't discuss this, but there are little links throughout this document that is going to, help. So I would definitely save this. So HR will be notified when all of the forms are completed. Onboarding is another great tool that keeps an organization very close without killing productivity. Not everybody has time to keep, so-and-so in the loop. But through this, everyone has visibility to see if there's a new hire, where they are, if we're still waiting on information, so that we can proactively follow up with them. Obviously we want to make sure that the employee file is complete, and again, not spend so much time like on day one just doing paperwork, but actually getting into the fun stuff, the culture of the company, maybe background, job shadowing, whatever that might be. So then so review and save to employees file. Then everything will be sent to the HR department. And then it looks like if the employee needs to be assigned to the hiring manager, must informed, or multi-assigned, it must go through the HR department so that they know of it. And then HR will complete the change form and then submit. What questions do you guys have? Okay, well, now is the fun part. I will go into the live demonstration environment because I think, visualizing everything is a little more helpful. Has everyone logged in to BirdDogHR? Okay, perfect. So we'll start at square one as far as where to go to log in. Okay, so that is okay. We're recording this, so. Okay, so I'm going to sign out and show you the login page. And so when you're logging in, you'll go to BirdDogHR.com. If you don't have your login credentials, Angela or myself can help with that. But basically, you'll just go to this customer login page. You can definitely check out our resources because we have a ton of white papers and different data sheets because obviously we want our customers to be successful. Your username and password will go in here, and generally speaking, your username is your email. And then as soon as you have your email and profile is set up through BirdDog, then you'll get a temporary password. And so if you haven't received that, again, let us know and we can get you set up. So this is the place where you go to log in. You can save that to your bookmarks. I'm going to get logged in here. as you can see, I am assuming the identity of Emily, and this is when you log in what you will see. So this is the jobs that are posted. You should see jobs that are assigned to you, correct, Angela? Okay. And so we start at create a rec. So we're just going to go through this hiring procedure so that it's more real in the software. So if you click on create rec, you can either go from a draft, an existing job, or a template, and we should have a lot of templates in here that are useful. If there isn't the one that you're looking for, the master template, we'll just go with that so that you see what that looks like. You're able to create a unique code, or if you have an internal requisition number, you can enter it in here, and notice there's just 3 steps, and then you can confirm and post. Really, you're not going to post it. It's going to actually post to Angela or the HR department's queues to be approved. So you can enter in the rec code. The job title obviously shouldn't say master template, so you'll put in whatever job you want, and then we have this area where basically it's going to give you a really strong introduction, and then have areas where you can fill out per the job that you're looking at. So skills, requirements, and then has the benefits and experience, compensation. So this tool should be helpful. Modify whatever you need to, and include any notes if you'd like. There's additional requisition information, whether that is notes that you would like to send to the HR department so that they understand, more about the job, whatever that might be. You can add this, and this is not going to be on the position when it goes live, and so it's internal use only. You can select the postal code. You guys want to give me a zip code? Thank you. All right. So then we've got, Brooklyn. Cool. All right. So then we're going to make that the primary. And you can display on your website. We're going to show that because we want to show off Brooklyn. And then length of job posting days, it's an optional thing. If you want to put 30, 60, it doesn't matter. If you put nothing, then it's going to stay up until somebody takes it down. The autoresponder is that thank you for applying automated message as soon as the person applies. And so, really that is the only thing that we need to have in that field. If you want to select the EEO category, and there's that piece. This part isn't implemented, so the job group is just like, it's almost a subgroup of the EEO category. So if you wanted to have professionals and then actually have that set up to articulate it, you can. The label is going to automatically, anyone who applies is going to have this label associated with them. Now, applicants can have more than one label, and so I suggest just picking one that's relevant to the job. And then later on, after you're reviewing applicants, we can add more of those hot, keywords that makes the applicants easier to be found, like if we were running a search. And then, so the assigned recruiter. So here is a little, definition. It's basically that recruiters or hiring managers are used to assign the jobs so that, you can view them, the comments that are attached to the job. So I definitely assign yourself to both here. And then select yourself as the hiring manager so that you're assigned to the job and notified when it's posted. So we only have one requisition approval process. Sometimes companies will have a different workflow for different departments because, for whatever reason, certain people might need to approve specific positions. We only have one, so it's very simple, and you just select that approval process, and then you go on to the next step. For the application, you're able to select just the standard application. That's a template that was created for the domain companies. And you can also add screening questions. So let's say you would like to add a couple of questions so that you get a feel for the aptitude when applicants are applying, then we can add those. So then that'll also be part of what is approved. If there's any changes that the HR department makes, then you will also get notified, and then, a review snapshot will be sent over to you. If there's no changes in this application details section, then we're going to hit next and go into the job distribution. And so basically you're not going to have to change anything unless for some reason you want to push a button for the social sharing, but our network is already selected. And then if there's any additional job distribution that is like the for fee sites, then the HR department will definitely make those changes and stuff and make sure that that's implemented when the job's posted. So really this is just one step, just one recruiter. Okay, and see, you have to have both. I'm doing this just for you guys. So then I get back to the confirm and post. What I can do is just review that what I am sending is accurate. I have another look and I can jump back to any of these steps if I want to make changes before I submit it off to Angela. And then I hit next. Requisition approval, there is an email and you can modify it, and then you can just send the requisition over. And so now I've got this area where I can see actions, so there's all kinds of things that you can do, but basically it's nice because you can see the steps and what's going to happen afterwards. So job details, if I go into jobs, I do have access to requisitions, and then I can see what is awaiting approval, not approved, so on and so forth. Here's mine. So we'll be able to delete that, but that should give everyone an idea of where to look and see what the status is. You can also see open positions. So in going back to the document, you can see the create rec area. We went to from a template, and then the master template if for some reason the other templates aren't relevant. And then the stage list, so when you're working through an active job, just determining this. So under review indicates that the applicant has been reviewed. Everyone comes into, like when they apply, they come into your system as applied, and so it's really easy to just change that to whatever stage that identifies your either last step or what you want to happen on if the HR department needs to do anything. So this next is HR manager requesting phone screen. So the hiring manager will use this if they want to schedule a phone screen, and then the HR department will email the candidate and send hiring manager a calendar invite. Hiring manager will conduct the phone screen. We have the stage HR manager disqualified, more info in the comments. And so when we had talked earlier, it was if you're identifying that you want to move forward, then the stage on requesting phone screen would obviously be the best choice. If for some reason they are disqualified after reviewing them, they don't meet the minimum qualifications, then the information, you'll be, best practice is to put information in the comments. So if after initially reviewing your applicant and the resume it's determined that the applicant's not qualified, please select this stage, and then you must add comments as to the reason why, whether that's education, experience, they have work experience in some other field. It doesn't have to be a long comment or note. It just needs to basically help the HR department know why they were not going through to any other stage. And then basically the HR department's going to use this comment area for disposition. And so stage and disposition are just the two tools that we used for reporting and tracking each applicant. So stage is where you left off. Disposition is if they have been disqualified, there is actually a set number, or not a set number, but a set library of selections, and then hireds in there as well. Do you guys have any questions so far? Okay, fantastic. So then the HR department phone interview and process, basically this is a stage that the HR department would use that basically indicates that they've seen that the hiring managers have requested a phone screen and that it is moving forward. And so again, this tool is going to really bring your departments together so that you can go into your software and see what's being done. The interviewing area is for you as users, so that you can use it when you've scheduled the interview with the applicant, or if that's your last step is, okay, I interviewed that person, that's fine. HR department sent offer to HR manager. So if the interview obviously goes well, the applicant and the hiring manager are connecting and stuff, the next step is to let the HR department know so that they can create that offer letter and documentation to send back. The offer, it's completed and ready for applicant signature. And so those stages are basically almost like action items, between the two departments, so that this process is going to be very smooth and seamless, and everyone's going to be in the know, ideally. So, and then it says following receipt of signed offer letter, the HR department will mark the applicant hired. So, and that's basically how it gets into the onboarding module. One stage you might find is if someone applies and they do it for if they apply, let's say in person, or you have another position they applied for, you can move them into a different position. Found would be, it's basically they didn't organically apply to that job. So we identify those a little different. And then here's the star ranking. Basically, this is how you can rank aptitude for each person that you're reviewing, and so it's just a little above and beyond the stage, and so you might be interested, but they're not the total best that you've seen. Then you can stay organized. And so 5 stars, they are the highest ranking, highest aptitude person. They've got the skill set, the education that exceed the job requirements, so they've got that X factor. Maybe they even have some preferred attributes that are not requirements. The 4 stars is basically, they match the job requirements. So the skill set and the education aligns perfectly with the job description. They are qualified to work for that position. And the 3 stars, then they have skill set or education. Maybe they don't exactly match, but could be developed. They have potential. Maybe they fit with their personality and the culture of the company, and so they should still be considered, and so there is a way to indicate that. And then 2 stars is skills, education, they do not match, and obviously 1 star is the lowest rank and they're not qualified. So that's the star ranking. Now I'll take you back into the software so that you can see when you're managing jobs. So you'll notice there's active applicants and inactive. Okay, so this is like your active pool of candidates. The inactive are people that have already been disqualified or hired, I guess. So then this is where you can use the star ranking. They might come already based on like questions that they've answered. They might have the star ranking already assigned, but you can change it afterwards if you talk to them and you have a different impression that what was the initial apply process. And then you can see here's the stage, and then the HR department will be managing the dispositions. So here's that hiring manager requesting phone screen, HR department. So that's like a action item for the HR department. HR department phone screen in process. Okay, so this one's under review, but then we've got a bunch of applied in here, and so the only thing is we don't know what happened necessarily. It looks like an email communication was sent to them, so maybe they're missing information, and that type of thing happens all the time. So inactive, we'll just take a look at the inactive applicant pool. Hang on just a second while it boots up. And so then you'll see that under review, and then they weren't selected due to experience. Let's see, hiring manager disqualified, more info in the comments. And so what I can do is I can look in the comments. I was the HR department, and see the notes here. Okay, so we haven't officially rolled this out, and so obviously, we're going to start seeing more consistency in how this is documented and, comments and all of that. And so if you guys have ideas, again, happy to refine this further, but navigating the software should be pretty easy because of the requisition approval process. You'll know when it's approved, and you can check on those areas. And then you can also actually go into these jobs and manage your applicants. And so what questions do you have on that part? Okay, perfect. And just a moment. I have to jump into onboarding. Just wanted to show you what a job seeker would see. And so you can see at the top here, they're going to be going through all types of processes, and this is just a demonstration account so that you can see what that looks like to new hires. So there's all these steps, personal contact information, that they're going to be taken through, and it's really easy to use. And so then they can also save if they have to come back at any time. They can save and close and sign back in. Basically everything's going to have the electronic signature. The state W-4 is going to go off of their zip code, and so it's obviously going to be automatically updated. Okay, so now I'm going to jump out of this area so that you can see what it looks like for yours. So this is the new hire dashboard that you'll have access to, and basically this is the importance too of having the hiring manager and the recruiter assigned, so that everyone gets notified when new hires are ready for processing. And so basically the manager action items, which would be yourself, Angela would be an admin, and so she'd have these tabs. You guys won't see these areas, so these 3 areas won't be relevant, but then you've got the new hire dashboard, and then you'd see action items. And so if there's anyone here, so new hire name, and then you'd see, you know, where they are in the process. If you've got incomplete new hires, they're going to be in here, and then you also can pull who's recently hired, and so it's pretty easy to just check out. And so if I click on new hire dashboard, if I navigate away from that area, that's what's taking me here. If I want to go into adding documents for any employee, maybe they've given me a copy of their driver's license that I would like to keep all streamlined in here, I can do that. And there's also the administrative roles or permissions will also allow if we need to pull like a mass export of I-9s, W-4s, and all of these documents. So really, onboarding is just that middle tool that allows you to go through the entire process and have that visualization. I think yours probably looks a little different. It's through Simple Onboard, and so there's, you know, obviously it's going to look a little different, but eventually you guys will be going to this platform, and really the functionality is the same. There's the new hire dashboard and the electronic filing cabinet that you will access in order to add documentation and then move through any of the new hires that are in your queue. Okay, I think that is it for today. What questions do you guys have? Well, thank you guys for joining us today, and just please reach out and let us know if you need anything. We're always happy to help. Thank you.